In the heart of Egypt, a story is buried under the sands of time, a single battle lasting less than an hour that redrew the map of power and changed the course of a nation forever. This isn't a tale of pharaohs or pyramids. This is the story of a forgotten war that forged the Egypt we know today. It's the late 19th century. Egypt is a land of paradoxes caught between its ancient glory and the encroaching grip of European powers. The Khedive Chufik Pasha rules. But his throne is propped up by British and French financiers. The Suez Canal, a marvel of modern engineering, has become a golden chain, pulling Egypt deeper into debt and foreign control. But from within the simmering cauldron of discontent, a new voice emerges, a voice of the people. His name is Ahmed Urabi, an army officer of humble origins. He is not a pasha born into privilege, but a son of the soil. A fella, he sees the foreign influence bleeding his country dry in the Turkish and Circassian. Elite hoarding power. His cry, Egypt for the Egyptians, resonates through the streets of Cairo and the fertile fields of the Nile Delta. It's a nationalist spark in a powder keg. Urabi leads a revolt, not just for power, but for dignity, for an Egypt ruled by its own. For a moment, it seems the dawn of a new era is at hand. Urabi becomes Minister of War, a symbol of a nation taking back its destiny. But the British Empire, with its vast global interests, watches with growing alarm. The Suez Canal is their lifeline to India, and they will not see it controlled by a nationalist government they can't command. They paint Urabi as a military dictator, a threat to stability. They need a reason to intervene, a pretext to seize control. And they find it in the bustling port city of Alexandria. Riots erupt, and the British fleet, anchored just offshore, uses the chaos as its justification. The bombardment of Alexandria begins. The world watches as the ancient city burns. This is the turning point. Urabi's forces retreat, digging in to make their last stand at a place called Tel el-Kebir, the Great Mound. Here, in the desert east of the Nile Delta, they build miles of trenches and earthworks. They believe their position is unbreachable. A fortress of sand and will. They are an army of patriots. But they are outmatched, outtrained, and outgunned. They are about to face the full might of the world's greatest empire. On the night of September 13th, 1882, under the cover of darkness, 17,000 British soldiers marched silently across the desert, guided only by the stars and a single naval officer with a compass. They achieved what Urabi's army thought impossible, complete surprise, at 5:45 a.m. Just as the first light of dawn touches the horizon, the British cavalry crests the ridge. A bugle call cuts through the morning quiet. The charge begins. It's not a battle. It's a storm. The British forces pour over the ramparts, their bayonets gleaming in the rising sun. Urabi's soldiers, many still asleep, are caught in a whirlwind of chaos and steel. The fight is brutal, desperate, and tragically short. In less than an hour, it's over. The Great Mound falls silent, littered with the fallen. The dream of Egypt for the Egyptians is shattered in a single, bloody morning. Ahmed Urabi is captured, his revolution crushed. The aftermath is swift and decisive. The Battle of Tel el-Kebir doesn't just end a revolt. It begins an occupation. British troops march into Cairo, not as visitors, but as masters. The Khedive is restored to his throne, but he is now a puppet, his strings pulled from London. What was meant to be a temporary intervention to restore order becomes a 70-year-long British occupation now. If Egypt, the nation's path, is irrevocably altered, the struggle for true independence would take generations, fueled by the memory of Urabi's failed, but noble stand. The legacy of Tel el-Kebir is complex. It was the military disaster, but it planted the seeds of modern Egyptian nationalism. Urabi's defiant cry echoed through the 20th century, inspiring future generations of leaders who would eventually, finally, secure Egypt's sovereignty. This forgotten war reminds us that history is not just made in grand palaces, but in dusty trenches by ordinary people who dare to demand a better future. It teaches us that sometimes the battles we lose are the ones that define who we become. As the saying goes, history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. Thank you for joining us on this journey into a forgotten chapter of history. If you found this story as compelling as we do, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more tales hidden in the sands of time. We'll see you in the next one.